Bonds of slavery. To remove the bonds of slavery, one merely needs to see those perceived bonds as little more than the vestiges of an agreed bond created to serve another's will, whether consciously or most likely unconsciously through denial of one's sovereign power and responsibility. What is slavery but lack of confidence in the spiritual nature of life and the laws of divine justice and grace to relieve one from their apparent demise? This confidence comes from directly experiencing one's inner power source undeniably and eventually embodied in the coming of ages. All life forms have their path of rising and their evolutionary destinies. Whether it is a question of denouncing the call of the times in the cultural memes, or to deny one's own self-interest for the betterment of all, this will direct a course of action and thereby set in full motion the wheel of fortune to begin grinding out its fortuitous revenue of response. The cavalcade of decorative outcomes is resplendent in its array of the codes of ethics, or a lack thereof. Being amongst brethren of the same ilk will most likely bring out a similar resonance of harmonic aptitude. To consciously choose this as a respite against temptation and wandering will, the free will of a divinely guided treasure, is to embark upon the journey of the magi, the fool, being the first step of innocence that will inevitably twist and turn through the annals of metaphysical and spiritual and causal and carnal allegorious phenomenon. Your sights upon that of the purest heights and altitudes, and expect to land in the zones of your true nature, for it is your true nature that dwells in the heights of the gods and goddesses that are your memorial immeasurable. Scintillate your olfactories with the delicious codes of the hemispheres of your choice, and become either intoxicated with remembrance or forgetfulness. The choice is always inimitably yours and yours alone, for it is you and you alone that eventually stands before the Creator in reflection of a life, whether it be lived well or of the shortcoming kind. A life well lived. The sisterhood brings forth the systematic evolutionary anchoring of bodies of illustrious factions of the weavers of shrouds, the spinners of tales of ignorance undone and bravery unbound. To follow your own tale is to become at one with the Creator's Spirit, carrying the rapport necessary to express into the worlds of worlds the newest forms of sweet, understated youth, to become seasoned thereby by the turns of the wheel of fortune. The purpose of a life well lived is to have shed light in this drossful world of forgetfulness, to insinuate the procuring of generosity, sweet loving kindness, without expectation of any kind, and the lovely act of holding reverent, watchful eye and condolence to the divinity within all mysteries and life expressions. To cultivate a life well lived is to invest in the long-term essence of deep ecstatic peace, for which eventually becomes the longing of even those who have chosen to fall even into the densest of forgetfulness and unconsciousness. Therein lies the agony of many trapped souls who forgot they had the power in the act of asking with mindfulness. This asking with mindfulness is the key to beginning the journey of the Magi and the fool's first step. The humble embark upon the mystical journey of awakening, and discovery requires an ally, without which will remain futile, and the subtle rejection of help will render one's journey fraught with much hardship and anguish. It is the realization that the path may be your own journey as uniquely as anyone else's, but your trip need not be taken without companionship from time to time, and indeed, actual promotion of and guidance from adepts on many levels, strewn with various talents, skills, and keys that open the door to receiving miraculous assistance. It is here that we find ourselves with the reader. You are, in this moment, receiving this gift of power and the keys to which you must utilize to receive anything utterly applicable to a life well lived. It is offered unto your open mind and the heart of a truly desirous seeker of intelligent matters of the soul realm, that these keys will even bring to make sense the aerated mind of the pleasure-seeking, self-centered, emotional body will be zoned out of this frequency of apprehensive acquisition, for it will be vibrating too frequently for the slower emotional maturity of self-aggrandizing souls to grasp. Therefore, it is you that has heard the call and answer to your own questing and calling that is required to activate these words, phrases, and keys of symbol into translations of knowledge and ubiquitous reunion of self-realization. Thereby, it is a requirement of commitment to the true nature of yourself that is being asked at this moment, to take time and assess your readiness and willingness to apply all attentiveness and utterly all investment of mindfulness into the practice henceforth of keys of the adamantine diamond consciousness. That will be the only way to unlock any understanding of the gifts and powerful abilities and potential that lie herein. This moment of self-introspection and reflection is required to know, once and for all, the purpose of your life by listening and hearkening to that cry within your heart that drives you so strongly and that has ultimately brought you to your knees of humility to at last be open to seeing the stars beyond the milquetoast pettiness of the dross of most societies of this era. For we applaud you that have at least been listening to the beat of your heart that has brought you to this place, this doorway of attrition, of the old behaviors of destitution that have left you feeling empty and betrayed, and for what we offer, with great joy and utmost respect, these keys to unlock the doorway of wonder and joy and the adamantine diamond consciousness that is unbreakable, invincible, indestructible beauty of the crystalline luster of a life that has surrendered to its divine timing to transform its drossful self into the beauty and luster of the fiery element, the adamantine structure, and from that clarifies the light into its splendiferous colors and arrays, useful for the Magi aspect of the soul to pour forth gradations of magic and perfection, of order of divinity in all expressions and creations as an artful message to all who have awareness of such beauty and light. Sensing a way has begun to open for those souls who are contracting their lives into the greater service, or a magnum opus. We, the council and guardians of these tablets of wisdom and activation, are pleased to encourage all who have come thus far to muster your courage, to step through the gateway of truth and relieve yourself of the foibles and fabulousness of the illusionary promises of dense spirits that have no intention of your well-being at hand. There are only spirits of highly attuned consciousness attending to these scriptures, through which Oracle Pegasus is transcribing. The purity of vessels required to perform such reverent service is of the utmost significance. The breaching of thus produces only heartache and aberrations, which ultimately will need to be rectified through the healing process, an expenditure unnecessary if one is thorough in choosing this commitment, stays open to the support and auspices of our guardian mentors and spiritual allies. Be of good cheer, and you will scurry along your road past those avaricious demons of the mind to far away, indistractable regions. This will no longer be your concern as you access your divine connection and cultivate that which is your birthright. The strength of all your lifetimes of accomplishments in the realm of spiritual assets will come into play as positive cash flow works in your world of hard knocks. This path is like a game to be played by the rules and laws of the dimensional aptitudes honored to the utmost integrity, lest you be kicked out of the game and require to return after more rounds in your lower worlds of gestation, which only proves you need more time and practice to be prepared for such a commitment and dedication. Forthcoming keys are those paradigms and perceptions that are allowable at this time, due to the positive crush attained by the accumulative irritation of collective consciousness of the soul group's independence upon and within the Earth's body. The massive bioplasmatic body that is now created by the interactions of loving kindness and generosity has reached a point of note, and therefore the adamantine tablets are permissible for access by those who are attuned enough to find them. The vibration brings all souls who have attained a level of I am realization into their daily awareness and have surrendered most petty annoyances and pet grievances to the creator life force for purification. The forgiveness factor has impressively finally reached a point of tipping, which is the ultimate testing barometer to accessing the knowledge and wisdom herein. The responsibility for such access and the discipline required are the direct result of repeated character development and soul progress through multiple lifetimes, until the soul has reached several aha experiences, events, and moments. The aha factor phenomenon is a way of measurement for our recognition that one has attained an unshakable, and therefore adamantine, of a necessary principle for enlightenment and ascension. This is knowledge that has become so inwardly integrated that it cannot become perceived as not itself, due to the sheer nature of direct experience removing all doubt. You have gone through the opportunity of multiple lifetimes on this planetary plane of expansion, enough to reach this point. The delightful advantage of so many opportunities to incarnate at this time, due to so many mothers allowing births, is unprecedented in this world of worlds, thereby affording many souls repeated returns to continue soul advancement as quickly as possible, if not only for self-awareness, but for the destined timeline for the Gaia ascension to take place with as little pain and suffering as possible. The alien forces are accruing, and to become a member of any galactic federation, one must collectively pass the ritualistic tests of initiation, of trustability, emotional maturity, and seasoning of wisdom. intellectual tempering by intuition and compassion, and a systematic generosity from the perception of all is one. So it is here that we have set up an understanding, a gauge for adjusting one's temperament and focus of intuition, to attain the highest degree of understanding through humble acquisition and impervious dedication to this highest degree of diamond consciousness ascension tools and book of wisdom, the adamantine tablets of diamond consciousness teaching. Let it be known that as the Creator saw fit to allow all life forms on this planetary stage of evolution to have the extraordinary, luxurious gift of free will, that you have been bestowed the richest of assets that many of you have not only shirked to use for the highest good, but have sunk to the lowest common denominator of self-indulgence of a fruitful body, to the point of practical abolition of your right to live a life here any longer. Simultaneous to this state of affairs, you, as a collective body of unconsciously evolving souls in the human array, have earned the right of support from the overall factions of the angelic legions of light, the collection of star hosts and celestial devic masters, and many other beings of great illumined aptitudes. This would be a grand time to take note, stop your mind, and give great thanks and appreciation, love, and divine honor to these beings who have come on board at your behest, to ballast your resolve to evolve into your true nature of embodied reality, to ballast your resolve and to evolve into your true nature of embodied reality, of grandeur in the human spectacular. Be it known that you are amongst the chosen, for you are being honored in this answering. It is now in your hands to show the worthiness through acts of matching and practicing. It is now in your hands to show the worthiness through acts of matching your vibrational frequency with the tenure involved herewith, and to maintain a practical and practicing state of mental acuity as such that you attain the minimum required to reach astute soul adulthood, to become the soul steward guardians of your starship, Earth Gaia. It is upon you now to own the responsibility and take authority and authorship of the next chapters in her transcendent cycle, with the immeasurable devotion of the hearts involved in the rapture of this advertisement, to guide all souls into the guardianship of this transition. We salute you, applaud you, and are herewith dedicated to the upliftment of every single cell to organism that carries and channels the life force of love and illuminated awareness in every collective soul group that has cried out, "Help me live a good life and uplift beloved Mother Earth. I'm sorry. I want to come home." It is your home that we are staking our energies and intentions upon to glorify this paradise, to propagate its expulsion from the victimhood that has brushed by so near, into total solidarity and sovereignty, and the birthright to become starship. Exercise. Down, clear your patterns. Systematically bow down now to the earth and clear your energetic patterns off your back, and allow these rippling patterns of denial to disperse themselves into the earth plane and alleviate the emotional sufferings of your mind. Through this act, at least once a day. In this action, you shall purge, through physical magnetic inversion, the posturings that have led to stagnant and therefore entrapped energies that aggravate you. This is a daily practice, ultimately performed ultimately performed in the morning and at night before retiring, but can be done at least once a day, at whatever time is available. Sacred song protection. The singing of Allah Atma Omni Omni. The singing of Atma Omni will produce higher heart vibrations that will eventually protect one from the mind-boggling propensity to worry about what others are thinking of you. This is the most prevalent misthought we are registering at this time. This worry is so prevalent, it is almost laughable if you could view from our vantage point how much time and energy is spent with these thoughts by all of you. You could solve all your energy issues with this savings alone. So begin there to solve your energy problems. Water is the special living creature. Water is a special living creature element that has gone overlooked, derided, and taken advantage of for so long that you are coming to the brink of exterminating your own selves. This is ultimately the initiatic rite of testing if a species and all the living elements have learned to care for this spirit element, water, and understand, by unlocking its secret talents, how it is life through the entire cosmos. In understanding this, shall this stage be allowed to further propagate into outer regions of this galaxy. Until then, you are being carefully monitored. Those souls who are primed to remember your purpose to enliven the spirit, whether it be through education or technology or healing arts, are beginning to activate this awareness. And we are simply offering you the access to continue your job, to rectify the lessons learned of this vital substance in order to maintain status as a living level of life form here.